Well, we'll now turn our attention to the west. You've got the moon on your left. Now, these three stars here, very famous, the summer triangle. I often think it should be called the late summer, early autumn triangle because actually it's best placed really in the late summer, early autumn. Those three stars, Deneb, Vega, Altair. They are three of the brightest stars in the sky and they all look blue or blue-white in colour. You may just see a sort of nice bluish tint to Vega there. Vega is the fifth brightest star in the sky. It's 26 light years away. A bit nearer than that is Altair. Altair is only 18 light years away. And that star is spinning so quickly, it's bulging out and it's egg-shaped, bulging at the equator. And Deneb, well, not as bright as the other two, but a very interesting star, because that star is 1,700 light years away. And that means you're seeing that star as it was 17 centuries ago. And the interesting thing is that these stars are all pretty bright, but Vega and Altair are bright because they're nearer neighbours of the sun. Deneb is bright because even though it's a long way away, it's a real celestial searchlight shining with enormous brilliance. Which is obviously very bright in this part of the sky in the northwest, and this is the head of the dragon. 4 stars in a sort of misshapen quadrilateral. That's the brightest, Eltonin, and then you've got the other 3 there. Can you see that shape? The head of the dragon. Now dragons. Let's think about dragons. The dragon's neck and shoulders are here. And then the dragon's long body and tail go right the way round over here. And they end just over the top there. So there's the dragon's long green tail, rising to its shoulders, neck and its head. And you've got to imagine it sort of breathing fire like this out of its mouth. Now, this dragon is associated, it's one of a number of constellations associated with the 12 labours of Hercules. And this particular dragon, the one that you'll be looking at tomorrow night, and we'll be hoping we've got some videos coming out like that, this dragon is associated with the 11th labour of Hercules. And this was for Hercules to steal the golden apples of the Hesperides. And this dragon, Ladon, was guarding those golden apples. Well, Hercules was pretty good at killing different things, and he did many of that. He killed the dragon, but he still couldn't get the apples, because the apples were guarded by a group of nymphs. It turned out that those nymphs were daughters of Atlas. Atlas, the man who had the world on his shoulders, who was holding up the world. And so Hercules went along to Atlas and asked if he could give him a hand. And Atlas said, well, yeah, actually, I can. If you take the weight of the world for me, I'll nip off and get you some apples. Now, Hercules thought, well, this is fair, because the nymphs are his daughters. He's going to be able to get those apples. I'm going to get my 11th labour ticked off, because actually, originally, Hercules only had 10 labours. But when he went back and said, I completed all 10, they said, we don't count 2 of them. You had help. So you're going to do 2 more. That's pretty better. So anyway, this is number 11, the first of those last 2 he had to do extra ones. And so he held up the earth while Atlas went off. And sure enough, Atlas came back with the apples. But Atlas, he thought, I'm not going to give Hercules the apples. I'm going to let him carry on taking the weight of the earth on his shoulders, because why do I want that job? But Hercules basically said to Atlas, if you can just take the weight of the earth a minute, I want to just put on this animal skin over my shoulders so I can carry the weight more, easily. So Atlas said, all right, and like an idiot, he took the earth back. Hercules picked the apple off him and made way his escape.